guys? How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Young Brawling Gaming Channel. I'm gonna set up my stream, so right after I do that, we will begin attacking. I'll go over to the main account.
With Fundrise, real estate investing is simpler and join the
There's one coin, one pick that stands heads and shoulders above all other projects right now in the eyes of Token Metrics, a coin research site that we use and we stand by on this channel. It's got a 99.9% score out of a 100 possible points. And if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, you're going to either find out because you're going to get in it, or you're going to find out the hard way, living with regret. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. Also, if you believe in Token Metrics and what they say about Ferrum Network, make sure to sign up for Token Metrics at tm.bitboy.live. Ferrum Network is taking over the cryptocurrency space, and next year they've got some exciting things in the pipeline. In January alone, there's 3 big things upcoming for Ferrum Network to bring in 2021 with a bang. And they call me Bang and Ben. I'm just kidding. Nobody's called me that since high school. Starting out, Ferrum plans a VIP raise and staking event, a global exchange listing, and the launch of a new DeFi protocol called Evolution Finance, which we'll explore more in a future video. Today, though, we're going to discuss the FRMX governance token and the multi-purpose utility FRM token, with a focus more on the FRMX token and its rewards towards the end of this video. So make sure to stay tuned till the end if you like making gains. First, let's examine what Ferrum Network is. Ferrum Network is a protocol based on DAG, or Directed Acyclic Graph, for developing apps and dApps. But that's not all. Ferrum allows for the decentralized exchange of all digital assets using interoperability side chains, as well as allowing the ease of sending assets as easy as sending a text with a link drop technology. We're also going to be looking at, along with FRMX, the FRM gas token and how it's utilized within the Ferrum Network. FRM will be used as the gas for the network. Every time some FRM is spent as gas, a small amount is burned. So the system is deflationary. FRM is also used as gas fees for token bridge swaps between Ethereum and the Binance Smart Chain, or the BNB chain. FRM is stakeable through a web-based staking technology as well. At the time of this recording, it looked like all the stake pools were filled up, unfortunately for BitSwap. However, you can also stake FRM on the Unifier wallet, which we briefly talked about in the last video. Speaking of holding FRM in your Unifier wallet, holding at least 100,000 FRM in your Unifier wallet unlocks monthly FRM payouts based on the FRM earned from listing fees and flash sales, according to the website of Ferrum Network. You can't reach the goal of holding 100,000 FRM, holding just half of that, 50,000 for you math whizzes, in your Unifier wallet will allow you to participate in the pre-sale rounds of incubated projects on Ferrum Network. That's big. But maybe philanthropy is more of your thing. FRM is the primary utility token in the app, known as First Kuti. Users of the app in Nigeria can buy FRM directly with the Nigerian currency and earn FRM rewards for using the app. In fact, in total, Ferrum has 4 working properties, over 20,000 active users, $20 million plus total volume locked across the staking protocol, over 45 staking clients and partners, which we'll briefly discuss, for innovative ways of staking. Now, about those partnerships. Ferrum has managed to pull some pretty impressive partnerships, some of which are projects we discussed on the channel. For example, the latest one, Omlet, also Plasma Pay, CyberFi, Obbit's Freeway Token, or FWT, and MahaDAO, to name a few partners. But wait, there's also another thing to mention about the utility of the FRM token. Ferrum Network buys back FRM through staking as a service fees. All the fees that projects pay for staking go toward FRM buybacks. Currently, thus far, 950 well for Fairham. Because when you think of FRMX, you should think farm, because that's exactly what it is. So what is the FRMX token? The token is used for governance on the Fairham network, but FRMX is not just a governance coin, it's a staking token, which when combined with the native Fairham network token FRM in your Unifier wallet, it amplifies your monthly rewards. Passive income, we love that. Holding both tokens together, you will be able to receive up to an annual percentage yield, or APY, of 30% without having to lock up any of your tokens at all. And when you stake FRM and FRMX, remember, the longer you hold, the more you'll receive. It's important to note here that FRMX had a fair launch. There was no pre-sale or private sale. FRMX, the farming governance staking token of Fairham, listed at a 20K market cap. Then it did an immediate 20x. Since then, it's only increased, and now it's sitting at around $3,090 per FRMX. The FRMX token has an incredibly low supply at 33,000. Yes, you heard that right. Only 33,000 FRMX is available at the time of this recording, with an unknown number of coins circulating, according to Gecko. Now, I recently joined Fairham Network as a marketing and growth advisor, and I'm going to tell you, couldn't be more bullish on what they have coming. Besides me, the team's solid. You can take a look at the team. Now, a lot of people said that when the last video that I made, that I was really bullish on Fairham, just because I'm an advisor. Yeah, guys, Fairham is one of the top gaining tokens of the entire year in 2020. You need to take that into consideration. It's pretty easy to see where this one's going. Now, with DeFi coming to Fairham Network soon next year, FRMX and FRM could be the moonshots just waiting for SpaceX's countdown from last time. Okay, so I told you once already, but Fairham Network has a lot of things in the pipeline coming, including DeFi early next year. And if you miss out on Token Metrics' top coin pick in 2021, you'll likely be kicking yourself and wishing you could go back to 2020, pick up a bag like Marty from Back to the Future. But be honest though, no one wants to go back to 2020. It's the year that will forever go down as the most hated year in the current biennium, lustrum, decade, maybe even century. Okay, yeah, I went there. 2020 is the worst year in indefinite history for most people. For me and many in the cryptosphere, though, it's been unusually kind. I just have one more thing to say. 2020, you can go farm yourself. Family friendly channel. But that's all I got. Be blessed. Well.
Some of my passwords. I used to have a shirt in high school that said, "Technology must be used to liberate the individual," and I didn't really know what it meant for years because I didn't really think about it. But today, I look back and I'm like, oh man, hell yeah, like that shirt. I'm glad I wore that shirt because it's how I really feel today. My name is Daniel Ross. Today is May 3rd, 2012.
Go through college and watch the internet come and all these different things, and now like Bitcoin, it's just a single technology built on top of the internet. It's so fascinating because there's so many great things you can do with it. It's also just a big experiment. There's no guarantees with it. We might just all be wasting our time exploring concepts and ideas.
Alright. Let's do an attack somewhere right there.
Stay connected with full-speed hotspot tethering. weathering. So no Wi-Fi? No problem. You'll have the coverage you need for streaming, surfing, video conferencing, and staying social.
Holy crap, it's January. It came out of nowhere, almost like it does it every time this year. And while we've gone over many of my top points for 2021, we haven't done a video yet going over my top picks for January. There's still 3 weeks left and plenty of time to get some short-term gains. Because while we are in a bull market, prices are pumping. It's pivotal that you pick coins that outperform the rest. If you do that, you will be able to separate yourself further as the market continues to boom. This is how you go from comfortable to rich. I'm going to show you my secret method for picking these coins, and we will pinpoint exactly which ones you got to add to your portfolio this month. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money and crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. In today's video, we're going to be picking coins based on Token Metrics coin research site. This method crushed it in 2020. From February to August, I picked at least 4 out of 5 winners every month, both outright and against BTC. Almost every one of those months, I picked a triple-digit winner, seeing some coins bring almost 300% returns in 1 month. Before I used Token Metrics, honestly, my track record was not stellar. But it's so intuitive that it makes the process of coin research much easier and gives you confidence in your picks. If at any point you want to sign up for Token Metrics, visit tm.bitboy.live. When you sign up, you get a 7-day trial for less than $5 to see if you like it before you commit to it long term. So as we make this month's picks according to Token Metrics, it's important you understand where we are in the market because that will indicate which coins we need to be picking or which types of coins. Right now, Bitcoin is basically in price discovery. Once Ethereum hits that point, we'll be in a weird spot. And I believe that will be by January 17th. We will have both the top 2 cryptocurrencies feeling around in the dark for levels of resistance. Once they hit those levels and move sideways for a while, it will be even more advantageous for us to pick much smaller coins outside of, say, the top 50. They will get massive moves every day. But in the meantime, we really need to be leaning on coins toward the top that are showing good numbers from the technical side and have some fundamental characteristics and current events making the short term advantageous. So with those factors in mind, let's jump into my 5 coins, my top 5 coins for January 2021. Coming in at number 5, I have, you guessed it, Ethereum. I could have easily picked this as number 1 as I believe a 30% move is coming within the next 10 days. If you missed my Ethereum prediction video, you'll click the link above. It has a lot of great information and you're going to like what you see if you're in need. But the issue is, it's so explosive that it could make that move within the 1 day of when I write this video and then when we actually post it. Who knows? I don't actually need Token Metrics to make this one pick. You see, Token Metrics is ranking their short-term investments on upside. But I think Ethereum is not only a stellar pick to the upside, but also the downside is very low. I don't think there's any way Ethereum takes a loss this month. By the end of January, Ethereum could be sitting around $2,000 to $2,500. As we scroll through the rankings on Token Metrics, looking for a top flight project, the first one we arrive at is the number 4 pick of the month, Polkadot. Dot had seemed to stall out on the charts after an amazing rise to glory after its release. But recently, the technicals have indicated that it was in the midst of another major breakout. And this is saying a lot, considering it has had a 50% price increase and already is outpacing its major competitor, Ethereum, over the last month. In fact, many people believe DOT is a better version of the old smart contract platform. In a bear market, a 50% increase, though, would be enough for us to short it. But in a bull market like we're in now, where major coins are beginning their ascent to greatness, all we need to do is look for dips after giant pumps. Simple, short corrections. So the encouragement would be for you to wait when selecting coins ripping upwards. Don't FOMO. Just make sure you don't get them at the top of wicks and wait for some sexy red candles. At number 3, and a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this, but I have Bitcoin SV, aka Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. Now, this is where the tension between what I believe in and what I invest in comes into play. Guys, I'm ruthless with investing, and you should be too. Bitcoin SE is a fork of Bitcoin Cash, which is a fork of Bitcoin. The founder of BSV is the most hated and heinous man in crypto, Craig Wright, who surprisingly has been absent out of the public eye for almost a year now. I'd probably say this has something to do with some legal issues, but honestly, that's purely speculation on my part. I do not believe in Bitcoin SV, but Token Metrics believes that by the end of the month, it will pop upwards of 40%. When you combine the fact this is a top 15 coin that hasn't had a big pump this week like everything else, with the general rule that Bitcoin forks often pump along with Bitcoin, we have a recipe for what could be explosive gains this month. But long term, this is not one I'm holding, strictly a money play for January. At number 2, I have Band Protocol, and I'll be honest with you, every time I pick Band for a pick of the month, it's disappointed me. Band, listen, I'm talking straight to you, you sexy Oracle crypto. I need you to pump and pump hard. You got a strict 3 strikes and you're out policy. If you don't do it this time, I might have to cut you loose. Ask Neo how that works out. Not great. But the fact is, Band is a great Oracle project that is most likely to win out as the second best Oracle project behind Chainlink, and it's going to eat up some of its market cap. No doubt in my mind. It's just a matter of when is it going to have another streak where it crushes the competition to make up the ground between it and Link. And it looks like, to me, it could be on the cusp of that breakout. Token Metrics shows some of the performance metrics of each project. Another one of its great features you can take advantage of by visiting tm.bitboy.live. But this chart here shows the cumulative returns of Band over the last several months. And what we've just had over the last few weeks looks very similar to the beginning of the explosive rally Band had in August. You see, a long streak of consolidation, and now the breakout is starting against BTC value. I expect Band to start this move in January that will end up with huge gains against BTC and in US dollar value. My number 1 pick of the month is Dash, and this is where a perfect storm of fundamentals and technicals come into play. On the fundamental side, there is a war against privacy coins going on. While Dash has tried to firmly establish itself as a digital payment solution cryptocurrency, many people still consider it to be a privacy coin based on the fact it has a private send feature. People at the Dash Foundation have seen the light, though. The privacy coins are going to be phased out of traditional trading in many highly regulated countries like the US and Australia. But in the meantime, they are getting swept up. Bittrex actually just announced they would be delisting Monero, Zcash, and Dash on their exchange beginning January 15th. Now I know what you're thinking. This is bad for privacy coins. Well, I brought this up several times. What happens to ammo when chaos or fear takes over the United States, or when overbearing gun haters get elected? That's right. The more they try to suppress guns and ammo, the more scarce they become. People love that Second Amendment, and I'm one of them. With privacy coins, we've seen the same type of action. When fear kicks in and these coins get attacked, prices rise. Dash is already one of my top picks for 2021, but January is a perfect month to kick it off. The great thing about Dash is, like I mentioned earlier, they're moving away from the privacy branding. So while in the short term they get the advantages of the fear-mongering, over the long term, the project will be unaffected. Token Metrics agrees with me. Their AI and machine learning price prediction models, which are generally about 90% accurate, shows Dash having a nice flurry towards the end of this month. So look for this project to have a great start to the year. What are your picks of the month for January? Let me know which ones you agree with and which ones I missed out on down below in the comments. That's all I got. Be blessed. Way out.
Meet Chris and Mark. They've both heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum. While Chris is using eToro to trade top cryptocurrencies, Mark keeps getting cold feet. Chris follows and connects with other experienced traders on eToro. Mark is following the advice of Eugene, a friend who prefers to keep his money where he can see it. Do you feel like it, Mark? Join eToro and gain the confidence you need to trade crypto. eToro.
Tonight, there is a player sitting among you that has a secret. One of these contestants is an imposter. Welcome to the Hustler. If they can fool.
Alright, what's going on everyone? It's Joshua from Crypto Busy, and today we're going to be looking at, well, Bitcoin is almost at $40,000 at the time of making this, and also we have my top 3 altcoins for the near future to do very, very well. If you like the video, guys, please leave a like, it really helps us out, and also subscribe to the channel for more. We're about to hit 70,000 subscribers, so a big thank you to all of you. Anyway, let's get straight into the video.
Well guys, even after that intro, Bitcoin goes ahead and hits $40,000 and even surpasses it a little bit, which is just insane. To think that Bitcoin was at like 10, 15,000 just a couple of months ago is just incredible, really. I mean, all of us investors always thought it would get here, but I bet it's the general public that are really the ones kind of left scratching their heads and thinking, I thought Bitcoin was a scam, or I thought Bitcoin was never going to go up, or I thought it had its moment when it reached 19k and then went back down again. But now here is proof that, you know, Bitcoin is resilient, it's a good asset, it's got value, and even institutions believe that now too. So just crazy stuff for there. But we're not here to talk about Bitcoin today, surprisingly. We're actually here to talk about 3 altcoins that I think are going to do super, super well. And in terms of that, I'm talking like a 2x in the very near future, each, pretty much. And I'll be getting into why. Now, of course, I'm probably going to get a ton of comments being like, well, what about this coin? What about this coin? Look, there's tons of coins out there that are probably going to do really well in this bull run. That's the point of a bull run, right? Most coins do well if they have some value. So yes, there are probably a ton. There's definitely ones we can name, such as Zilliqa, Digibyte, you know, tons of other coins. And, you know, you can leave in the comments all the coins that you like, but these are just 3 that I think are going to do very well from a technical point of view very, very soon. So let's get straight into it, guys. So first of all, this is the total market cap. Just look how crazy that is. That is mad. The altcoin market cap going up, and we've hit over $1 trillion main market cap as well, including Bitcoin. So that is just insane. But let's go on to the first coin pick. So we have Polkadot. So Polkadot is a coin that we've been talking about for ages. We were telling people to get into it around $3 or so, $4. And let's take a look at it now. It's at $9.96. Now I actually recently picked up some more Polkadot at around the $9 level. And you're probably thinking, why did I buy so late? Well, I actually think it's going to $20. Now, I do have reasoning to back up my point, don't worry, it's not just a random number out there. So we do have this Fibonacci extension. Now, I've drawn this from the absolute low to the high before the breakout, and we've got a couple of levels to watch, and you can see we've stalled at this first target, which was $9.90. You can see we've hit this kind of top, and we don't seem to be breaking it just yet. But guys, if this does break, and that's an if this does break, first stop is $15, second stop is $20, and after that potentially 22, 23, but for me I think $20 is that psychological round number as well. Big stuff. We have double topped here, which I think is bearish, but with the current nature of the market, I just can't see any of these altcoins going down dramatically. So if we did have a retracement, it might only be down to $8.80 or something before kind of ramping up again. So I'm perfectly happy with buying in at $9. I think it's still a great buy, and I think $20, potentially even $30 in the future is a pretty safe bet. So that is my number 1 pick for today. Well, they're not in any particular order, but it's the first one I'm talking about. Next we have VeChain. VeChain, a fan favorite on the channel. It really stagnated for a long time there, all had us worried, but don't worry, VeChain is back in action and ready to explode a little bit more. You can see we're in this rampant uptrend. We don't have any signs of slowing down right now on the 4-hour chart. Perfect trend line pretty much, and I personally think we're going to keep going. And another Fibonacci extension I did previously in another video, I showed that my next target for VeChain is 6 cents, so a 2x, over a 2x on what it is right now. So guys, if you're looking for a potential 2x, VeChain could be the one for you. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research before you do take a look at these projects and also invest in them. Guys, if you want to join a community that is honestly the best community I've seen in cryptocurrency, we have a ton of members. We've got over 600 people in here now. We have chats every single day. This is a group that constantly puts out top quality calls. We've made tons of profit in this bull run from calls and trades. Everyone is discussing and actively trading crypto and stuff like that. It's just honestly the best place to be. And if you want to get access to this Discord server, you can go to patreon.com/cryptobusy. There'll be a link in the description and in the pinned comment, and you'll be able to go there. It's literally I'm pretty sure it's the most inexpensive crypto group out there, pretty much. It's $25 for the month. You can try it out if you like it. There's no commitment to stay if you don't, but there's tons of stuff here. So let me take you through the platform real quick. So we've got VIP coin calls home. That is where I'm going to be calling out my main coin calls for the month. You can see I actually talked about .vet link early on here, so if you want to get early access to what I'm talking about in my videos as well, this is the place to do it. We've got meetups getting scheduled, all this kind of good stuff. And then on top of that, we've got the call outs themselves. So that is, of course, for the trades that we call out. We can't show you that because we've got some running. We've got the VIP newsroom where you're going to get all the latest news. And it's going to be great stuff there. We've got the VIP chat where we literally we talk all the time. I pop in there and I talk all the time. We've got the social hangout where we talk about non-crypto stuff. VIP crypto gems, again, can't show you that. Beginner's guidance for all basic terminology, and the webinar recordings. Every 2 weeks, Tom and I do a live hour-long webinar that you guys can come along to and join. So guys, if you want to join the best crypto community without spending too much money, then this is the place to be. I hope to see you all over there. Patreon.com/cryptobusy. Now, another coin that has huge potential, and the last one for today, is Chainlink. And Chainlink, I think, has just insane levels of potential, guys. You remember that run-up it had before? Let me see if I can find it real quick. It had that absolutely insane bull run. As you can see, all the way up here, it went from around, $4 up to 20. That's a 5x that I think we have the potential to be starting that exact thing again. Now, this was a trade that we had taken on a leverage exchange. I did close out at my first target here at $17. It was a great trade. Again, all that can be found in the group. But basically, this is our first target, right? $17 is hit. That's absolutely fine. $20 is coming soon, in my opinion. I also think $24 is my next target. So $24, I could see that happening within the next few weeks. I think once this trend really starts and really kind of breaks through these levels, who knows where Chainlink could go. And I think, honestly, a $24 to $30 Chainlink is something you could definitely see. Fibonacci extension, or I've done that in another previous video as well. That also points to around a $24 one. There's a few tokenmetrics reports that say the same thing. There's a lot of confluence here, guys, and I personally think you can get a great gain, a potential 50%, 60% gain to get there. So great coin to kind of bet on, and it's a sturdy project. That's the thing. All these coins I'm calling today are also fantastic long-term holds in my opinion.
Reserve, then Ethereum as it exists in 2020 is just, as a matter of fact, not the system for you for at least the next 1 to 1.5 years, right? There's just a reality that there has been this big, massive 2.0 transition that's been planned pretty much almost since the project's launch, and now it's finally happening. And then at the same time, there are these massive transitions in economics. So EIP 1559 is a big one, and also just activity moving from layer 1 to the layer 2s is another big one. And these things are going to fundamentally change how a lot of economic and technical properties of Ethereum work. And so, any property of the Ethereum blockchain today may well change in those 1 to 1.5 years. And so if you're interested in long-term economic properties of the Ethereum ecosystem, it matters less what are the properties of the system today, and it matters more, what are the properties of the thing that's kind of slowly being built up over the next 1.5 years, right? What even is the point of being able to, verify the current proof of work issuance schedule perfectly if the thing that we really should be verifying is the economic properties of the proof of stake schedule that are going to be guiding Ethereum's economics for the 20 years after 2022 or whenever the merge ends up happening. So I think just explicitly understanding that yes, Ethereum at the moment is a system in flux, and yes, if you want something that's not a system in flux, then Bitcoin may be the thing for you. Ethereum Classic may be the thing for you, though. And Ethereum Classic itself is kind of, I think, in flux as a matter of necessity because its immutability is being threatened by all these 51% attacks. But so that's one example where, in order to protect people's kind of property rights, you actually have to do something other than standing still.
So Vitalik, if this is successful, if we cross the bridge, if we make it for the other side, to the other side, for those that kind of stick with the project, stick like the builders who kind of stick with it, the community that sticks with it, what's left for us on the other side? What do we get in terms of issuance, in terms of improvements, in terms of security enhancements? What's the reward there?
I think great things are on the other side. So number one is obviously proof of stake. So much more efficient, much more secure, much less tree killing form of much less issuance demanding form of consensus. Issuance is going to potentially go down by a significant amount. The efficiency of the network will go up by a lot, and Ethereum is basically going to become what I think the 2020s will expect a modern blockchain to be. So that's number one. Number two is sharding. And at the same time, the layer 2 ecosystem. So those things together are going to give us scalability in the tens of thousands of transactions per second, which is hugely important because ultimately, we're looking to create a platform that can achieve mainstream adoption, create a platform that actually can provide enough security and trust that guarantees to its users, and actually scale that up to millions and potentially tens or 100 millions of users, and not just like a very small number, like a couple 100,000 per day. And just proof of stake and sharding are the things that needs to be done to make that happen. So that's number two. Number three is that just better protocol economics. So EIP 5059 is the really big thing. I think the more you use Ethereum, the more you realize that just gas estimation is such a stupid and archaic concept. I really think that if all goes well in 5 years' time, blockchains that rely on this first price auction model is just going to be looked at like caveman economics. I'm really looking forward to it, and it seems like the model is already working well and increasingly being validated in Cloudcoin. It's increasingly working well on the testnet, so really looking forward to that hitting the mainnet. I think that could be one of the big stories of 2021. Also, just general efficiencies within the Ethereum system. So replacing the hex tree with binary trees, allowing stateless clients, which would make it much more efficient to process and to sync the chain. It's much more some virtual machine improvements that would allow us to just not need any more pre-compiles and have to be able to have all the advanced cryptography that we want inside of Ethereum. So basically just everything that you could want if you're, building some privacy preserving application or some kind of more complicated smart contract system or some roll up for scalability. The tools actually are going to be there, and you're not going to have to use kind of clever tricks to anywhere close to the same extent as you do now. Also, light client support. So ETH2, we're taking a go at making it explicitly much more light client friendly, and so hopefully break the dependence on Infura and kind of actually have make it so that people's wallets actually can be light clients.
And Vitalik, do we get to that place? Not fixed issuance, obviously, like the Bitcoin model, but did we ever get to a place where we have more predictable issuance on the other side? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I think realistically, we'll want to wait around 1 or 2 years after it, probably even the clock starts ticking next week. So just after phase 0, and just verifying that the current economic structure of proof of stake is sustainable. Verifying that economic structure can survive the addition of sharding, the addition of the ETH1 chain, verifying that EIP 1559 is working as expected. And then once all of those pieces are in place, then I think people are going to just have a much more clear and visceral understanding of, this is how high proof of stake issuance is, this is how high the AP59 burn is, this is the kind of historical variance of those two parameters. And so the issuance in general kind of change of the total supply level is going to look, I think, much more predictable a couple of years from now, and I think people are going to be very happy with the results.
Last thing for you on this, Vitalik, then we'll move on to something that is equally exciting in a way. If somebody is just built on the ETH1 chain right now, has all of their Ether on the ETH1 chain, do they have to worry about any of the stuff that like we were just talking about, or does this merge somehow in the future?
Good question. The answer is they absolutely do not. So one of the big compromises that we made for kind of practicality is that while Ethereum's consensus layer and scalability and all of these things are getting massive kind of revamps from the ground up, Ethereum's execution layer is actually remaining remarkably constant throughout the transition. So transactions that were valid before will be valid after. Smart contracts that executed in one way before will execute the same way after. Basically, all applications, contracts, ETH, everything will just be kind of migrated from the ETH1 side to the ETH2 side automatically, right? And so you as a user or as an application developer basically do not need to worry. I mean, there are a couple of corner cases, like, for example, if you relied on block hashes for randomness before, then in proof of stake, block hashes stop being secure randomness, and so instead you would have to use like the randao output as randomness. But like these are block times are going to work slightly differently, but these are generally like issues that only affect a very tiny portion of users. So for basically the vast majority of the user base, I think they'll experience kind of close to no change from an application perspective.
So Vitalik,
the chain would just not be that secure with a lower amount. But on the other hand, like at this level, it's getting to the point where like there's really very few individual actors that actually have the ability to kind of put in the funds to take over the chain. And aside from the foundation, there's also like obviously the major exchanges and maybe like consensus and a couple and I don't know how much they have and a couple of whales. And then if you go kind of higher, and we hope to go higher, then it is going to get kind of out of reach of even those kind of largest holders. But like realistically, I mean, we don't have to kind of get up to those much higher levels immediately. Like this is still just the phase 0 beacon chain. There's nothing kind of completely relying on it, and so we start at a kind of medium level of safety, and then go up to the higher level over time as people naturally become more confident in the system.
So this process, this getting to that number and exceeding the threshold of ETH, that sort of initiates the rocket launch sequence, right? But yes. The chain is not yet launched. That will happen December 1st, 12 o'clock UTC time. So what kind of happens next? What's the next milestone in the Beacon chain launch and in staking now that we filled up the deposit contract to its minimum threshold?
So the next milestone is obviously the thing that's happening in 5.5 days after I'm saying this, so December 1st, the launch itself. We've done lots of test nets, but this is still larger than any test net. It's a different set of stakeholders than any test net, so just making sure that all goes smoothly. Then after that, we would hope the proof of stake chain just runs smoothly for some amount of time, and at some point we want to just start getting onto the task of kind of upgrading it and bringing on all the full functionality that we want ETH2 to have. So the big ticket items are, one is sharding, the second is kind of the merge, so bringing ETH1 into the ETH2 system, removing the proof of work chain, and kind of properly folding the system back together. And then there's also some smaller things that we want to do. So like, for example, we want to add light client support fairly quickly. So if you go into the ETH2 specs GitHub, there's already a PR that's we've been working on for about a couple of weeks to add light client support. And then there's some just efficiency improvements and some possible kind of economic tweaks. Like one example of a type of economic tweak we might want to make is just making the chain more friendly to people validators who stay online during an activity week, but don't stay online perfectly. So, like, basically, if you have 90% of performance during an activity week where the people who are completely online lose 40%, like, you should not lose 4%, right? Really, you should lose much less than 4%, you really were doing the best that you can. So, I have a proposal around fixing that, just general efficiency improvements. So, basically, the ETH2 chain is just going to kind of get into this, progressing and upgrading mode, and it's basically preparing for the moment when the existing Ethereum ecosystem can kind of properly and fully fold into it.
Are you feeling a little bit, Vitalik? Because so this is like the launch sequence initiated, right? But at some level, we're all kind of standing close to the launch pad, watching the SpaceX rocket, and it hasn't quite launched yet. And that, of course, is maybe the most nerve-wracking part, right? So is there any element of like you being nervous about December 1st, or I mean, what could happen December 1st? Could we have a failed launch? Could there be some issue?
I mean, issues are always possible, right? So this is, I think, why we should hold off the full celebration until after the thing really gets off the ground. But like we've seen what we've had with different test nets. Some of them launched perfectly. Some of them had issues. Even the ones that had issues, they definitely all kind of managed to fix themselves within either a couple of hours or a day or so. I expect that this time there's definitely more participants and potentially less experienced participants, though also maybe more experienced participants, because like the people who participated in the test nets are also going to be in the main net, and it's not going to be a first time for them anymore. I don't think we're going to see the thing that we saw in some of the test nets where 40% of people just never showed up, because this time we actually have a profit motive. There's just always the possibility of random technical risk, I suppose. We've done lots of testing at this point. The quality of the test nets has definitely just gone up and up over time. Fingers crossed, and it hasn't happened until it's happened. So we're definitely hoping and eagerly awaiting everything going well.
So Vitalik, the ETH2 research team recently did a Reddit AMA that I thought was really fantastic. And there's one question I recall in there. I think somebody asked you the question about maybe you talked about Ethereum being, while ETH2 is launching, it's also a technology and a network that is somewhat in motion, right? There are going to be a large set of improvements over the next 2 years, right? It's not necessarily going to be like instant scalability is here and both chains merge. It's going to still be a process. But at the end of that time, like the ETH2 chain will be in a much better place. I was wondering if you could, I'm not presenting it the way you did, the way you answered that question, but I'm wondering if that jogs your memory and you could talk about maybe that answer to the question, like, what's the future for issuance? What's the future for stability of ETH2? Where are we going to be on the other side when all of this stuff is done? And why should we hang with Ethereum?
Yeah, no, and I definitely think I made that comment for a reason, and I think there's an important kind of insight to keep in mind there. There's a lot of people who have been recently commenting about how is ETH doesn't have a finalized issuance schedule, or you can't calculate what the current total supply is, or what is the max supply, and or you're changing things, and there's definitely some extent to which those queries are coming more from the Bitcoin community than the Ethereum community itself, and so we should definitely kind of not, I guess, overrate the extent to which we really feel the need to kind of respond and satisfy all of those requests. But like the thing that I think we need to just keep in mind is that just kind of being intellectually honest about the state of Ethereum, like if you need a system which satisfies the property that it will stay the same as it is today, and it has existing properties that it's going to preserve, then Ethereum as it exists in 2020 is just, as a matter of fact, not the system for you for at least the next 1 to 1.5 years, right? There's just a reality that there has been this big, massive ETH 2.0 transition that's been planned pretty much almost since the project's launch, and now it's finally happening. And then at the same time, there are these massive transitions in economics. So EIP 1559 is a big one, and also just activity moving from layer 1 to the layer 2s is another big one. And these things are going to fundamentally change how a lot of economic and technical properties of Ethereum work. And so, like, any property of the Ethereum blockchain today may well change in those 1 to 1.5 years. And so if you're interested in long-term economic properties of the Ethereum ecosystem, like, it matters less what are the properties of the system today, and it matters more, what are the properties of the thing that's kind of slowly being built up over the next 1.5 years, right? What even is the point of being able to, verify the current proof of work issuance schedule perfectly if the thing that we really should be verifying is the economic properties of the proof of stake schedule that are going to be, guiding Ethereum's economics for the 20 years after 2022 or whenever the merge ends up happening. So I think just explicitly understanding that yes, Ethereum at the moment is a system in flux, and yes, if you want something that's not a system in flux, then Bitcoin may be the thing for you. Ethereum Classic may be the thing for you, though. And Ethereum Classic itself is kind of, I think, in flux as a matter of necessity because its immutability is being threatened by all these 51% attacks. But so that's one example where, in order to protect people's kind of property rights, you actually have to do something other than standing still.
So Vitalik, if this is successful, if we cross the bridge, if we make it for the other side, to the other side, for those that kind of stick with the project, like the builders who kind of stick with it, the community that sticks with it, what's left for us on the other side? What do we get in terms of issuance, in terms of improvements, in terms of security enhancements? What's the reward there?
I think great things are on the other side. So number one is obviously proof of stake. So much more efficient, much more secure, much less tree killing form of much less issuance demanding form of consensus. Issuance is going to potentially go down by a significant amount. The efficiency of the network will go up by a lot, and Ethereum is basically going to become what I think the 2020s will expect a modern blockchain to be. So that's number one. Number two is sharding. And at the same time, the layer 2 ecosystem. So those things together are going to give us scalability in the tens of thousands of transactions per second, which is hugely important because ultimately, we're looking to create a platform that can achieve mainstream adoption, create a platform that actually can provide enough security and trust that guarantees to its users, and actually scale that up to millions and potentially tens or 100 millions of users, and not just a very small number, like 100,000 per day. And just proof of stake and sharding are the things that needs to be done to make that happen. So that's number two. Number three is that just better protocol economics. So EIP 5059 is the really big thing. I think the more you use Ethereum, the more you realize that like just gas estimation is such a stupid and archaic concept. Like, I really think that if all goes well in 5 years' time, like blockchains that rely on this first price auction model, which is going to be looked at like caveman economics. Yeah.
होने लगे हैं यहाँ से हम डालेंगे ये हमने टिकट डाली और ये ठीक है ओके आप खुले आप चले मैं सो टिकट चलती है और एंट्रेंस खुल जाती है चलें आप करें थैंक यू और ये देखिए यहाँ आज छुट्टी का दिन है लोग देखने के लिए आए हुए हैं आप भी बच्चों को लेके ज़रूर इस पर विज़िट कीजिए बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त चीज़ है जो पाकिस्तान में इंट्रोड्यूस हो गई है Okay, so now here we are waiting for our train. देखिए यहाँ पे घड़ियाँ लगी हुई हैं बहुत अच्छा सारा कंप्यूटराइज सिस्टम है 6 मिनट पे ये ट्रेन आएगी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन डिस्प्ले हो रही है दिन टाइम डेट कितनी देर में ट्रेन आएगी पहली ट्रेन का
Boom shakalaka, what is up everybody? Today's video we are talking about the top 5 altcoins. The 5 altcoins you must have in your portfolio for 2021. The year is coming up soon. This is the year of the Bitcoin bull run and these are the top 5 altcoins you better have in your portfolio if you want to make millions. Stay tuned. What is up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video we are talking about the top 5 altcoins you must have in your portfolio or who knows, 1000x gains, we'll see, maybe not that high, but who knows, anything could happen. Before we get into this guys, subscribe if you haven't, click the notification bell and also do me a favor, like the video, it helps out so much. So guys, we're going to be talking about the top 5 altcoins, but before we do, we have to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not an altcoin, so it's not included in here, but it is absolutely essential to have Bitcoin in your portfolio. I mean, in case you guys haven't heard, Mike Novogratz, who started the 2017 bull run, he says that there's now a $65,000 Bitcoin coming soon as the network effect has taken over. We have Citibank executives predicting a $318,000 Bitcoin price by 2021 as seen in this chart here. Not only that, if we take a look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, I mean, it's very clearly evident from this logarithmic regression that Bitcoin is likely going up into the $100,000 area in the next year or so. And furthermore, the stock to flow model would confirm a $100,000 Bitcoin is expected. So while Bitcoin didn't make the list, the only reason it didn't make the list is because it's not an altcoin. Otherwise, Bitcoin would be on the list because it's absolutely essential to to have Bitcoin, the hardest money ever created, ever. If everybody started mining gold, we would produce more gold. If everybody started mining Bitcoin, there's only ever 21 million Bitcoin. 5 million are already lost, and Grayscale is buying up the rest of them at an amazingly fast clip. So you want to get your now. What you guys came here for? What are the top 5 altcoins you must have in your portfolio for 2021? Now, a lot of the theory behind my picks for 2021 are that this bull run and this alt season are going to be way different from anyone we've seen before. I mean, first, Bitcoin and crypto was the anarchists, and then the speculators. Well, guess what? Now we have institutional investors, and they're not going to want to gamble on projects that, could turn out to be nothing. And they definitely aren't going to be investing in scams. So this bull run is going to be completely different from previous ones in that we'll have some smart money entering cryptocurrency. Now, because of that, these picks may not be as speculative as in previous years, but these are legitimate projects that guarantee.
You want to do some practice, bro?
Institutional money flows in. These things are going to go bananas. So let's get to the first one. The first one should be no surprise to anybody: Ethereum. Now, Ethereum right now just over $500. But if we take a look at the charts, look at the Bitcoin comparative. Really, you could look at the green, but the orange. The Bitcoin comparative is the only thing that matters. Ethereum was highest in June of 2017 on Bitcoin comparative. Then in January, February of 2018, it was the second highest. Well, guess what? It is about as low as it could possibly be. Investing in Ethereum right now is like investing in the Ethereum ICO. And what more? Ethereum 2.0 is coming out. This is going to revolutionize everything. This is going to send...
Okay, bro, I'm going to send you an invite after this attack, okay?
Radical new heights. The most developers in cryptocurrency.
So, just give me a few moments. Alright, we got 61% done, guys. 19 trophies, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and get the army ready now. I'm gonna do a balloon and an ice golem. Then fix it up again, and I'm gonna send you a friend request right here. Or... 82Q2JL08V. Let's go take a search, and I'm gonna send you an invite. Your clan is not active. It looks pretty active, bro. Let's request. Let's go back to my other account.
Period. The largest community in cryptocurrency. Period. The most use cases. Period. ICOs were built on it. DeFi is built on it. Everything is built on Ethereum. I mean, everybody knows Bitcoin. That's the name brand. Well, everybody also knows Ethereum. And it is a bargain right now because guess what? With ETH 2.0, they're going to make it more scalable, more secure, and more sustainable. And guess what? ETH 2.0 is happening very, very soon. They have the Beacon Chain, the first ETH 2.0 edition, coming out beginning of December. May get pushed back a little bit, but it's coming out soon. Okay, we have shard chains in 2021 and docking in 2022. You know, double docking even. So, ETH definitely makes it on there. It is a super huge bargain for anybody right now. Not to mention, with ETH 2.0, you can stake your Ethereum. Staking is here. If you hold 32 ETH, you can stake it, earning up to 10% per year, 3.2 ETH per year. Now, right now, that's like $1,500 or so. But in the future, Who knows? That could be $15,000. That could be even more, depending upon what ETH does. Especially since after ETH 2.0, they're talking about having deflationary Ethereum. Crazy. So that's number one. Number two is basically the monster of altcoins. The altcoin of altcoins. The annihilator of altcoins. I never thought it could have done this, but it has become one of the top altcoins out there. None other than Chainlink. Now, Chainlink right now is trading a bit above $14, but as we can see with the orange here, again, the Bitcoin comparative, because what's the point of having an altcoin if it's not going to do better than Bitcoin? Well, if we take a look at that, there's been quite a pullback since the top in Bitcoin comparative. But Chainlink is something that definitely has a use case because DeFi became super popular. We need Chainlink and other oracles to basically control a lot of the prices of stable tokens and help with a lot of DeFi things. But not only that, based on this video here by Benjamin Cohen, we can see that Chainlink is headed for $1,000 Chainlink. If Bitcoin hits $100,000 and if Chainlink stays in the path that it's in right now, we are headed for $1,000 Chainlink. That's almost 100x on Chainlink. And this thing could possibly happen. Now it may not. It's at pretty high. But this has become the monster altcoin. Everybody knows Chainlink. And everybody trusts Chainlink. And everybody knows there's use cases for Chainlink. Not to mention the pump groups from like 4chan. They definitely help. But they have one of the strongest communities out there. So that's number two. Number three. I knew that you would have to pick something in DeFi because DeFi has revolutionized cryptocurrency. Like the best use cases for cryptocurrency are with money, and DeFi is pretty much the best way to do money with cryptocurrency. Well, out of all of the projects out there, and there's a lot of DeFi projects out there, I think the one that's going to do the best in 2021 is Yearn Finance. Now, why this one? Well, the main reason is based on the supply. If we take a look at the supply is 1,000th of the supply of Bitcoin. Okay, scarcity alone drives up price. We've seen in the past few weeks how Yearn Finance was under $10,000 and is already up to $26,000 because there's just not that many. And it's something that powers DeFi. I mean, if you take a look, you can switch your lending providers moving between DYDX, Aave, and Compound autonomously by using this. This is one of the biggest ones out there. This does for DeFi what Bitcoin does for cryptocurrency. It's going to just become an absolutely astronomical price, and everybody knows about it and uses it. So that's why Yearn Finance made the list as number 3. Now, number 4 might surprise a lot of you because this is one that I don't talk about too much, but this is one that is an amazing use case for cryptocurrencies, and it has the pump potential, and it is down at pretty much rock bottom prices. So the next one is none other than VeChain. Now, this one here is basically logistics on the blockchain. I mean, one great use case for blockchain is money. Another great use case, censorship resistance. Another use case, gambling, which is kind of like both of those together. But the next best use case for blockchain that we know about is supply chain. You can basically track everything using the blockchain, can't be altered, and as long as you can trust the people who put the information on the blockchain, this is by far one of the best use cases for blockchain. Now, if we take a look at the orange again, we're taking a look at the Bitcoin comparative, not the price. Okay, VeChain right now is trading at, what is it, 1 cent, 1.1 cents. But if you take a look at the orange, the Bitcoin comparative, near rock bottom. I mean, it's pretty much as low as it can be. 64 Satoshis. The lowest it's been recently, 48 Satoshis. That's pretty much the lowest price ever, 40 Satoshis. So really, it has so much room to go up, and this is one that is definitely pump worthy because when people get behind it, the price goes bananas. And this could happen in the near future because we have things with VeChain. They're always announcing partnerships. They're winning awards in China. And guys, when China gets behind blockchain, the price pumps ridiculously. So that's the reason for number 4. And number 5, the last one that I have been talking about for years, okay? And that's going absolutely bananas, and I think it still will continue to go bananas. None other than Celsius. I mean, Celsius just popped over $2 right now, going absolutely crazy. And ordinarily, I say all-time high, do not buy. But I still think that Celsius has a lot of room for upward movement because right now it's ranked 38th. This is clearly a top 10 altcoin out there. Clearly. The use cases, why? Because if we go take a look at the website, we go click on earn, basically you can put your altcoins in a very secure wallet and you can earn up to 22%. Absolutely ridiculous rates you can earn on your altcoins while they're not doing anything. You can see down here when you scroll all the way down, they have the current rates, 7.2% on ETH, 6.2% on Bitcoin. Look at this, 22% on Matic and Synthetic. Even stable coins, like let's say the market tops out and you move all of your alts into stable coins, you can still get almost 14% interest on your stable coins. That's way better than what you can get at banks. And that is why I believe that Celsius is a top 10 altcoin and why I think it is going to continue going, charging up until it gets there. And it's just going to, more and more people are just going to put their money in there. And then you have to use Celsius if you take out loans to repay the loans, and you can get rewarded in Celsius. So it has a very strong use case for the token. Now guys, if you can't find altcoins that you have here in Celsius, another one that you can use, not on the list of the top 5 altcoins for the year, but another one that you can use is Crypto.com Earn. You can put your cryptos on there and look at all of these. You can earn interest on there up to 6.5% on your crypto or 12% for stablecoins. And also, Crypto.com is a really awesome way to get 50% off of altcoins with their syndicate program they have every few weeks to every month, where if you stake your Crow tokens, you can get significant discounts on altcoins. So guys, that is it. That is my top 5 altcoins for 2021, the ones that you must have in your portfolio if you really want to go up massively. Now I know some of you are saying, but Randall, these are like in the top 50 altcoins. Like, I want something on page 72 of CoinMarketCap that nobody's heard of, that I'm going to put $1 into and be a 10 millionaire. Well, keep wishing. It's not going to happen. And furthermore, I'm not picking speculative altcoins for what I already mentioned earlier, where we're having institutional money going behind big projects, but also because a lot of the biggest gainers in the next alt season don't even exist yet. They haven't been created, they haven't been released. Really, I mean, if you think about what happened in DeFi season, most of those things, they popped up and literally within days of their creation, the price went up. So they just don't exist yet. I can't make videos about them because they just don't exist. So I think that these 5 here, Ethereum, Chainlink, Yearn Finance, VeChain, and Celsius are your best bets aside from the king of them all, Bitcoin, for 2021. So guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to like the video. It helps out so much. Thank you. Also subscribe, click the notification bell. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.
There is no doubt that we appear to be in the throes of the next crypto.
Boom shakalaka, what is up, everybody? Boom shakalaka, what is up, everybody? Today. Make you a millionaire. Before we do, guys, like the video. It helps out so much. Also subscribe, click the notification bell, and if I do a video, you do Celsius is something that we have talked a lot about. And why? If we take a look here, I've been talking about it for over 2 years. As a matter of fact, the first video I made was back in March 22nd of 2018 about Celsius. Now, like I said, had you have purchased Celsius way back then, okay, even just March, it was 6 cents. Now it's $5.61. It has grown enormously, and the reason why is the utility and the trust. Celsius is a platform that was built by a unicorn, a triple unicorn, as a matter of fact. Now, other triple unicorns you might know about would be people like Elon Musk. But we're talking about Alex Mashinsky, the CEO of Celsius. If you want to see a really great interview I just recently did with him, you could check out this video here. But he's had $3 billion businesses, and Celsius is his third. First one, voice over IP. You probably heard about that. All right, he was also worked for Israeli intelligence. This is a guy who knows what he's doing in building businesses, and clearly has done so in Celsius. Now, the reason why Celsius, because you can earn insane interest on your crypto while you're holding it safely and securely. If you take a look at here at the reward rates, you can get up to 22% on synthetics and Matic, but you can get 6% on Bitcoin, and on stable coins you can get almost 14%. Now, why Celsius? Well, for a few reasons. They have a very strong community right now, 282,000 plus users, and one of the biggest things, Bitcoin, we know, derives its value from scarcity. Now, Celsius does have some scarcity because it has a limited supply, but pretty much every other cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin derives its value from network effect. The more people using it, the more the price goes up. And Celsius users have been going up and up and up. It's increased by about 82,000 users in the past month or two. So it's growing exponentially. And really, this is a small fraction of the world. We're talking about lots of institutional money coming in, lots of people entering cryptocurrency. They're going to want a place to put their money securely and earn insane interest on it. But not only that, I just saw here, Alex was interviewed on Real Vision. This is one of the biggest things for large investors, for macro investors. They look at this stuff on Real Vision, so they're going to be looking at this interview. A lot of them are getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies now, and they don't want to just sitting around doing nothing. They want to earn yield on their crypto assets, and when they see this video, they're going to be heading over to Celsius to do that. So guys, with all of that, the Celsius price today, $5.61, it is at an all-time high. For Celsius to continue going up, even in Bitcoin comparative, would be unlikely. But it's certainly possible. All right? It's possible because of network effect, and it's possible because of limited supply, and because right now Celsius is really only 21st in terms of all the cryptos on CoinMarketCap. All right? As a matter of fact, Celsius right now, when I look at valuation of cryptocurrencies, I like to compare them to other things in the space. So I think Celsius could do, at the very minimum, as well as Crypto.com did, because it does pretty much most of what they do. Plus, you can earn insane interest on there very securely. So let's take a look. Okay, had you have purchased Celsius back in March, not that long ago, 9 months ago, it was 6 cents. Now it's $5.61. It's already 94x in 9 months. That's 10x per month. That's insane. To keep going up like this, it's unlikely, but it's possible. It's certainly possible. So that means that had you invested $10,638, buying you 177,000 cell tokens, making you one of the top 200 cell holders, you would be a millionaire today. Now, is that still possible? Because, you know, we all wish we would have bought it back in March, but maybe we didn't. So is that still possible today? You know, they say that the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago. The second best time is now. Same is true for Bitcoin and also for cell tokens. Best time to buy is 10 years ago. Second best time is now. Because if we were to buy $1,000 of cell token today, that would buy you 178 cell token. Now let's just say that Celsius does as good as Crypto.com did when Crypto.com had its peak a few months ago. It had a $3.5 billion market cap. Right now, Celsius has a $1.3 billion market cap. Well, if it were to just do as good as Crypto.com did a few months ago during the DeFi bubble, we would 2.7x our money. So you'd already over double your money, almost triple it, making you $2,688 off of your $1,000 investment. But that's not all, because we have not yet seen alt season. Okay, we see Bitcoin starting to run up slowly, but we have not seen alt season. Not even close. Not even close. Bitcoin dominance is still next to all-time highs. So, if we just take a look, last alt season, Okay, January 2018, back when the alts were pumping. The top 10 alts, average market cap $176 billion. Well, I definitely think that Celsius is a top 10 crypto. The use case is out of this world. I mean, what are the cryptos that I actually use? Bitcoin, yeah, I use that to send money. ETH, yeah, you can use that to send money. ICOs, DeFi, all types of stuff. Really, the only other crypto that I use on a regular basis is Celsius. Because when I bought Celsius, I used it to take out a loan to try out the platform. And then price went up. But you can also earn Celsius. It's got a ton of use cases in the ecosystem. So I think it's a top 10 crypto. And if it were to do as well as the top 10 cryptos in the last bull run of 2018, $176 billion market cap, that means you would 135x your investment, making you $135,192.
Every single Sunday, I send out a watch list for free of the absolute best stocks that are coming up over the course of the week. For example, 2 of the stocks on my recent watch list spiked 120.
Another day, another all-time high for Bitcoin, this time in the high $38,000 range. We're on the Binance futures charts here looking at the 1-hour candles. Now, this may be a little bit higher than it would be reflected on other exchanges, given that, again, this is the futures charts, but we definitely broke through with confidence into the $38,000 range. As Max Kaiser would say, 42K is now in play. Keep you guys updated. Ethereum also doing very, very well and consolidating nicely with a local high here. Again on the futures, but as you can see, $1,234 as it coils up and readies itself to test new all-time highs. Today we are looking at